Broadcast live.
Hey, we are fixing the door. I'm gonna have a new door soon.
Cool.
What up, bro? You good?
I'm good. How are
So I
you?
was just explaining the door issue. It's like,
Yeah.
we're waiting for them Easter dough. Woo-wee. Welcome to winter, motherfuckers. About to get sinuses and flus and COVID again. Uh-oh. Hope y'all are ready. JayHood, what's up?
What's up, big bro?
You good?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for coming
Always.
through.
Always.
Hey, congratulations on the project, Deep State,
Thank you.
It is your first album on the charts,
Yeah.
The Apple Music charts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad I'm part of people's first.
I'm glad to have you on it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We glad to be people's first. Shout out. Thanks for using our distribution platform actually.
Yeah.
As a side note, I want to firstly start with first introduce yourself. Let's
Yeah.
get who you are, where you're from, and let's build everything from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, I go by the name of JayHood. I'm a artist, a rapper, musician, songwriter, producer, engineer from Pretoria, and basically music is my calling. So I'm just here to fulfill my calling.
All right. Unapologetic freestyle. You start off by saying you've gone through so much pain. You need to be endorsed.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to understand. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Just give us a little bit of your world and what you mean by that. The album is out, by the way. Deep State, super dope. It's one of the freshest album on the first. It's the beginning of the new quarter.
Yeah.
It's one of the freshest album right now. A hip hop album that's out there that you need to check. So, what do you mean by that when you're going through so much pain, you need to be endorsed?
Yeah. So what I was basically saying was that I've been through so much, you know what I'm saying? So all of that pain, it feels like I need to be endorsed for it. I felt so much pain, man. I've been through a lot, looking at my age, looking at everything that I've been through, it was crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's me saying, basically embracing my pain, being like, okay, maybe I should just get endorsed for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're starting by that, because, I haven't even gotten into the album. I don't know you like that,
Yeah.
It's just music that I'm listening to. And as a listener, when you say that already, I haven't gotten into the album to kind of know what pain you've gone through.
Yeah.
So, what is it that you feel that has been so traumatizing that if pain literally was a brand, it would endorse you?
Yeah. My background, life, man. Everything that happened in my life is basically what inspired this whole album. You know what I mean? So Deep State is basically me saying the mindset that I was in while I was making the tape. You know what I mean? So that was more like an intro of this is how the album is gonna be like. I'm gonna talk about literally the pain that I need to be endorsed for. That's why we have all of those songs just like that.
You have a skit where someone talks about nitpicking someone at the end of Unapologetic Freestyle. You have a
Yeah.
skit where someone talks about listening to different artists and nitpicking the things that they like about the artists, but there's always a gap,
Yeah.
And in that skit, I don't know who it is, they say they want to just fill the gap of all the things that
Yeah.
that they feel are missing from the artists they've been nitpicking. So I'm assuming that literally is your thought frame, right?
Yeah.
What gap do you think that you gotta feel or you're going to feel that literally hasn't been filled by the people you listen to?
Yeah, I'm talking about real stuff, man. I'm talking about what every day the youth is going through. You know what I mean? I'm a voice for the youth. That's how I look at myself. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's not enough people who are talking about that right now. You know what I mean? So I'm one of those people who are coming in and speaking about, yo, this is what we're going through as the youth. You know what I mean? Yo, it's unemployment, there's this, it's that. You know what I mean? So those pickpockets that are open, I'm here to fill them in. I'm here to speak about what a lot of people are not speaking about right now. Yeah.
So in that, when you do say that, that space, I guess I can say, especially right now, you're starting to see this in Pretoria.
Yeah.
A lot of young artists, hip hoppers, and I think right now Pretoria is the mecca of this rap shit from the youth perspective. You know, I feel like a lot of guys are filling these pockets already, right?
Yeah.
But in that, when I listen to you, and I love your delivery, you like a rapper's rapper. Besides just that, when you look at your other peers, where do you think your peers have taken it for you to also continue building from there?
I think they've taken it pretty well, you know what I mean? One of the guys who took it like to a step is MT, you know what I mean? MT's always talking about the struggle, what he goes through, what people in Joburg are going through, you know what I mean? So I want to represent my people too, what we're going through, what the youth now is going through, what people in Pretoria are going through, you know what I mean? So that if someone is in Durban or Cape Town going through the same thing, can be able to relate to what I'm saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. By track 2, you know, you're gone alrighty from the first track to the second track. You mention a list, you know. You really like dismissing these lists, you know. What is it that like you feel that like doesn't really like make a list credible, you know? And what list are you talking about mostly, you know? I mean, unless it's the obvious like what is it, the MTV base list at the end of the year, but what are these lists that literally you kind of referring to? And why are you so dismissive to them?
Like, I feel like these lists that go on, like who's the best rapper, who's the best this, they put who number 1, who number 2. For me, that's like, it's like seeking validation in a way, you know what I mean? It's like, if I'm not put on number 1, then it doesn't mean I'm not number 1. You know what I mean? So I don't want those lists. I don't want to be put on those lists. I feel like I don't need that type of validation. I already know I'm number 1 in my heart, in my mind. So I don't need a list to tell me what I already am. You know what I mean? So that's me just dismissing that. Like, I don't want to be on no list. Don't put me on no list.
Obviously, as you grow also, I mean, I was with another artist and he was just talking about how the list is not even a hip hop list anymore.
It's not anymore.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, that is another. But if the list was a hip hop list, like, you know, a hip hop list, would that like would it matter to be in the list, or is it just like, yo, it's about who's the most mainstream person on the list? You know, is the context of the list literally like the issue, or is it just the list that's an issue genuinely?
For me, it's just the list. You know what I mean? I feel like, that's why I said, I feel like the list is like seeking approval or validation. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not on the list, then people don't look at you a certain way. If you are on the list, then people look at you another way. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's just the list itself. Like, whatever context that they're putting it in really doesn't matter. But the list itself is like, nah, man.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 22. I just turned 22, 15 April.
Yeah, 15th April. Here we go, 2 days after me, right? So you're 22. Okay, so let me think about it. 22, that means you were born in 2000.
Exactly.
Oh, shit. What are you listening to?
I'm listening to a lot. I used to listen to like a lot of old school, because my brothers used to listen to a lot of old school. You know what I mean? That's how I got put on.
No, your brothers were in this school.
They were in the school. They just put me on their school. You know what I mean? So when I came in, they were like, oh yeah, let's put you on some, you know what I mean? That's what you need to be listening to. And I was like, oh yeah, that's hard. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like I got also like my lyrical inspiration from. You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of lyrical people. You know what I mean? So it's just easier. It comes like easier for me to just write. It's not even a thing anymore.
What was it from that era that like, or an artist from that era that you kind of go, oh shit, you know, that shit was ahead of its time, or that shit is dope? Like,
they were real, you know, like, besides anything else, I think I just respect them for being real. Like, everything they said was real. Like, when they said no cap in my rap, they actually meant no cap in my raps. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were real. So I feel like lyrics these days, they're so saturated. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's real and what's not real anymore. It's hard to differentiate the two. But back then, they were real as fuck, man. They were so real.
Is there not as top of mind that you kind of go, you know, like that guy literally had it, you know, lyrically from back then?
Top of mind. It was a lot of them. It was a lot of them. It's hard to pick one.
So, you know, I actually had a follow-up question to that. So if you're 23, I heard just now
22.
22, sorry. 22. You're not a 99. You're not a 90s baby
Nah.
for shit. You're like 2000 baby.
Yeah.
I just heard you now. You're listening to you guys were listening to Tear Gas.
Yeah.
And what you were playing, literally, you were probably 8 years old when that came out.
Yeah.
You're listening to Chance.
That's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fresh. It's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Till today, I can still relate to what he was saying.
Yeah.
That's how real it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because what one would think of is that you think that probably you'd be reciting like KO's lyrics, but I was literally like eavesdropping like what you guys were doing, but I could hear how y'all kept on like saying Dugs's lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of took me back to actually Dugza actually was always talking that hard street shit to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You know, and y'all like y'all young cats like from the streets.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, that you were 8 years when that played, and yeah, you could have been playing Mai and KO are the most kind of prominent, but Dugza probably hasn't been out there. But it was actually very dope to hear like y'all literally like almost singing along to his lines.
He's dope, man.
Yeah.
We love him. He's dope.
Shout out, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's just like that's just that like is great to know that y'all studying the game anyway or living the game and knowing that the game is just not you and your generation. Do you know what I mean? Stays my joint, born free, but I'm supposed to pay for education. Then when I'm done, I'm supposed to find an occupation and pay for taxation. You say your generation won't make it. I mean, that's a very bleak statement, you know? I mean, already the lines literally like just talk about like, how can I be born free when I'm paying for education? Then I gotta get an occupation. When I get that occupation, then I gotta pay for taxation. Where is the freedom in that? You know, we never gonna make it. You know, for me, that's been a long-standing narrative that I believe in, even when I was a youth. You know what I mean? Because I believe I had to fight for everything I have. I'm really interested in the context of not going to make it for your generation. Why? You know what I mean? I really want to understand your context.
I think I wrote that line coming from like an angry place. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fed up. You know what I mean? The way it looks like we're not gonna make it. You know what I mean? So it came from the heart. It was me just spilling out my heart and saying, yo, man, I feel like with everything that's happening right now, it's really hard to even see like the future of like the youth. You know what I mean? In this country. It's hard. You know what I mean? Like, I know people who apply for permanent jobs, and the only way to get those permanent jobs is to pay for somebody to put you in those jobs. It's hard. Now, how you gonna pay for that if you ain't got the money? You're looking for a job.
Goddamn.
You're looking for the money. Now they're offering you a job, but they say you gotta pay for the job. How are you gonna pay for it? It's crazy. That's how crazy it gets. That's how crazy it is right now as we speak. Things are happening. Yeah. So it's super crazy, man. It's crazy out here.
And then what do you do? You know, like when you're sitting right now and you can't get these jobs, and it's almost like you start breathing in each other's spaces because everybody does. You know, when a bunch of people who don't have nothing are literally like crammed in each other's spaces, what does that lead to?
You need to put yourself in the mindset of changing. You know what I mean? If you're in an environment that is pushing you to do something like or act a certain way, you need to put yourself in like a mindset where you're like, nah, I want to change. I don't want to be like this. I want to put myself in a better position. You know what I mean? That's your mindset. That's what you need to do. And if a lot of people do that, I think that the future will be bright.
Would you define that as a deep state?
It is a deep state. That's what people in the hood are going through each and every single day. You know what I mean? Like on philosophy, I say, my fuck around and get drunk. And I say the problems that will make me fuck around and get drunk. You know what I mean? 6 a.m. grinding hard with my boys. We pray this shit gonna get us paid, but if it don't, I fuck around and get drunk. That's what's happening in the hood. Niggas are waking up hustling. The hustle don't work, they get drunk. They're falling to a substance. You know what I mean? It's not their fault necessarily. You might say it's the environment that they're in, but then like you know, what else can they do?
They gotta forget about this shit, you know? They need something to move their minds from.
That's why I say it's a mindset thing. You need to put yourself in a better mindset. You know what I mean? If your friends are doing this and you don't want to do this and put yourself in a mindset and do something better. You know what I mean? Work towards that. And that's how you're gonna get out.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you said mama said at least I'm not in jail. This is the deep state interlude. If I didn't have these bars, I'll be in jail. My nigga. Just like give me a background of just also your family, you know. I mean, like obviously you studied sound engineering, so clearly, you know, you were able to go through that. You've obviously got older brothers, but like what is the support structure for you and your family, for you to kind of chase your dreams, or for you to even be able to maintain this deep state? You know what I mean?
I think like basically my family background is my dad is a doctor, my mom is a nurse. You know what I mean? But my dad and my mom divorced while I was pretty young. You know what I mean? So it was a thing of my dad lives in Limpopo and my mom lives in Pretoria. So I was in school in Pretoria. So I was here like most of the time. You know what I mean? So, but I'd go to my dad, like go visit and everything. But now it's two different backgrounds. You know what I mean? My dad has money. My dad is rich. You know what I mean? My mom does not. She's literally the opposite. You know what I mean? So coming to Pretoria where you always hear, you need to hustle. You know what I mean? So it taught me how to really, really hustle. But then going back to my dad, it was easier to get like a few things. I got my studio through him. You know what I mean? The first ever studio that I ever bought was with money that he gave me. You know what I mean? So it was easier to navigate with him, but it was hard this side. You know what I mean? So it really taught me how to like hustle, remain humble, and you know, just follow your dream and do what you love. You know what I mean? Because my parents are not in the field of the entertainment industry. They literally know nothing about it. You know what I mean? So me also saying like I want to be in this specific industry was like to them, you know what I mean? But then they can see now that it's transpiring to be something that's really working out, you know what I mean? So they're cool with it.
Now, you think about it like, you know, you've got like the, I guess, you know, the best of the worst of both worlds, you know? But you go to a community where you've got friends who probably don't have a relationship with their dad, or don't have a, or their mother, or they've been raised by their mother only. And with that being said, you know, they don't have like the balance of the privilege that you have, right? So how do you take that privilege that you have inside the space, meaning like going back into the hood, how do you take that privilege that you have, what you've built, and the inside of what you could further become, and plug it into the other kids that don't have that balance?
I'd basically say just like, it's hard, you know what I mean? Like, I won't lie, man, like, it's hard. Even with me having like best of the both worlds, it was like hard for me to really connect with my parents on a personal level, you know what I mean? I think the person that I have the most relationship is of course my mother, because this side is where I live like all the time, full time, you know what I mean? But with my dad, it was harder. I don't have that relationship with my dad right now. I haven't spoken to my dad in like 5 years, you know what I mean? So it's hard, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't have that, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, it's hard.
But you see,
It's a hard question.
That's what I'm just saying. What I'm just saying is that, you know what light looks like. Regardless of your relationship with your dad. And other kids could literally wish for it and imagine it and think, but you've walked inside it and touched it and felt it, right? And you also know what darkness looks like. And I'm not using darkness like, darkness, like, you know. You also know what having nothing looks like, right? Because you lived it with your mother. So you are not in between poverty. You are not, you're in between like a choice, you know, of like having nothing and being in that space. So it's almost like, but you live in a space of nothingness. So you have this job to literally like also take the light you get from, say, the subconscious stuff you get from your past, and literally like motivate your other homies who don't even have that.
Do
Do you feel that?
No, I feel that.
You know what I mean?
I feel that. I think like using that also, it's a powerful tool, because now people will be able to like also be like, oh, he's saying something, you know what I mean? Like we were hearing what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you're just the kid that was in the if you're the rich kid, you like he's just trying to fit in. You're trying
Yeah.
too hard.
Trying too hard.
You know what I mean? But like it's like you can take that at least that progression from your father and
Yeah.
turn it into something else
Yeah.
within your space.
Yeah.
How did you link up with Blackie?
How did I link up? Blackie, we actually did that song, thing 2 years back. Yeah, man, it was just like an internet thing even, you know what I mean? We just like heard some of his stuff. It was me and Milo, my producer. Yeah, we just heard his stuff and we're like, yo, he's dope, you know what I mean? Let's hit him up and try to work with him. We hit him up, we sent him the song, he sent us back the verse, and yeah, that's how it worked.
So this was before he blew up.
Yeah, I think this was before
I think
he blew
all
up.
these verses that are popping up from Blackie are like from 2 years ago before he blew up, you know?
Yeah.
And you guys still got a relationship?
Yeah, but we don't really speak much. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say we speak much, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. You said like you hope to live till you're 40 on trapping out of control. But you passed 21, you're starting a rap career. What could go wrong? I mean, like you it don't seem like a lot could go wrong with you right now,
Right now, it might not
and if
seem
you're on
that
40,
way.
you can go 50, 60.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, life happens, man. Like, I was in an accident last year, you know what I mean? Like, a crazy ass accident, you know what I mean? So I saw that you could literally just lose your life like this. It's that easy. That's why you need to cherish it more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So by me saying like that, it means like anything can happen to me, but even if it happens, I know that my music will live until infinity, so it's cool. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, on Change Me, I was like, yo, this guy rapping about a girl trying to change him. Why
Yeah.
would you be in a relationship? You already kind of put it out there that like, listen, you're not trying to get tied down because
Yeah.
you're still out here exploring. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So in that sense, I mean, I always ask this question. I'm always interested in trap niggas type of girl. What's your
Yeah.
type of girl?
What's my type of girl?
Yeah.
A smart girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gotta have something.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
head. Yeah.
yeah.
That's what attracts me, personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I like my girls smart, man.
On emotions and voices, it made me wonder, I mean, emotions, but I think voices, you also come back, and you kind of almost touch on it, Like, who did you give your career, or who did you depend on your career that actually made you realize that actually they're wasting your time? And what was
Yeah.
that realization like? And it happens with a lot of artists. What was that one thing that made you realize that, man, these guys are fucking me up,
Yeah.
I had a lot of stories. I hear artists are at a gig and they find out that their manager's getting paid so much, and they literally and they getting paid like a fraction of that. Where was your transition where you said whoever was you were dealing with, they actually fucking you around?
Yeah. Cause I got signed, man. I got signed to a label, you know what I mean? But then I got signed because of specific situations. You know what I mean? I think that's when I lost myself, and that year I stopped doing a lot of things. I even stopped like releasing freestyle videos. That's so not me. I enjoy freestyle videos. It's
Yeah.
something that I love to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I stopped doing that for like months. And when I wanted to start releasing them, it was really hard for me to re-release them because now the confidence was gone. You know what I mean? Like the fact that, I haven't released a freestyle video in so long, like what if now it's different? It's not the same feeling. You know what I mean? And just a lot of things, man. There's so much that contributed to me being like, oh man, this ain't it. You know what I mean? I lost so much within me, and that's why also like the album is called Deep State, because I was really in a fucked up mind space. You know what I mean? That's when I realized that, let me go back to why I really started this, because I always wanted to be independent, handle my own shit, do my own shit. You know what I mean? Make music, do what I love, and live my life.
Yeah.
That's what I always wanted to do. You know what I mean? So I think I got lost in it for a time frame, and then I realized, man, I need to go back to the reason why I started this and still do me. And that's when I was like, okay, nah, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me do me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So okay, it's just losing yourself in the mix of things. Yeah.
basic.
All right, cool. Now, do you feel that like you've got more confidence now? You feel that you got your step
100%.
back right now?
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been on the project, working on it?
2 years.
2 years. That's crazy. On philosophy, you have your the Pretoria OGs, Black Les, and Envy. You know what?
P-Dot.
I'm like Envy. You know, I think of Envy because
Yeah.
Black Les and Envy when they crew
Yeah.
together. And P Dot.
Yeah.
I'd say those guys are literally from my generation to a certain extent. Black Les doesn't get his credit for like his longevity also, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the things that like, you know, conversations you've had with them or knowledge that they've dropped, you
Yeah.
know?
Black Les, man, shout out to Black Les. He's always been like there for me, you know what I mean? Just looking out for me technically with everything that I do, you know what I mean? Even if he doesn't hit me up like, yo, what's up? You good? You know, I know that he's looking like at my moves, watching what I'm doing. And if he sees like, yo, maybe there's something missing here, he comes through and says, yo, I'd like to help you with this and this and this, make it work. You know what I mean? One thing I learned from him, always stay humble. You know what I mean? Just humble yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know everything yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yet you'll never know. You always need to be willing to learn. You know, whether it's from you, the person behind the camera right now, you know what I mean? There's a lot of knowledge that you can still learn from. And P.O, it's crazy because P.O, I only met him, my first time ever was when we were shooting for the promo video for that song.
Right.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever met him, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So he's a cool guy ever since we've been speaking. He's such a cool guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's incredible. That's incredible. In Paranoia, you talk about you want to be rich and healthy. And you know, there's a different mind state, you know, that you have all the time when you're recording. But what do you think are some of the ways? I mean, you've talked about death, you're in a car accident, but what do you think are some of the things that could be in the way from you being rich and healthy? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, also last year I had Corona, you know what I mean? And it fucked me up, you know what I mean? So I realized that, yo, life is not really guaranteed.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a guarantee, you know what I mean? So you need to cherish it and value it and live it to the fullest while you're still here, you know what I mean? So those are the things that make me live my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to live my life and I pray to be rich and pray to be wealth.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for, rich and health.
Yeah. You know, this is gonna be like, I wanna get into Would You Blame Me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the track, you know.
Appreciate it.
And maybe right now I'm a little bit like sensitive, you know?
Yeah.
You know, there's suicidal kind of threats there, you know. I ask myself right now, I go, yo, contrary to the belief that suicide is for the weak, suicide is actually for the bold, you know?
Yeah.
Contrary to the belief that life is for the weak, you know, life is also for the bold, you know? It's just that life, similar to suicide, has got extremes.
Yeah.
If you're going to commit suicide, you must be bold enough to do it,
You have to be.
yeah?
Yeah.
If you're going to say you're going to commit suicide, you got to stop tweeting. You must be bold enough. You must go do it.
To do it.
You know? If you're going to live life also, you must be bold enough to
do
live.
it. Yeah.
You know? You can't be half, I'm going to go kill myself. Oh, I want to live. I listened to your album, and although you talk, I can hear, though, you're a guy that has hope.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe the shit you're saying that you're going to commit suicide. I don't think you're bold enough to commit suicide.
Those thoughts come though.
But I don't think you're bold enough to do it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm bold enough to do it, and I pray to God that I never do it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But you're bold enough to live, though.
I am.
So why do we, I'm just saying, you know, I mean, yes, those thoughts are coming, and you an artist, and art is powerful, you know?
Yeah.
And there's someone else that's gonna hear it and be encouraged, and think that you probably bold enough to do it. But it's just the lyric, you know? It's just the feeling that you have. But once the song is done, or once the thought is done, you're not gonna do it, you know? I just wanted to ask you, you know, let's be cautious of the words we use, right? Because it's a good song. But I heard the album and I felt you struggle in the album, but I kept on hearing you kind of finding light,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm gonna ask you to rather find the light, rather be bold enough to live and put that on your music,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, it's a struggle, but like I'm gonna live, you know? If you know that suicide is just thought, but you're not bold enough and you pray you don't want it, then don't entertain it. You dig?
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because you might not think that like the power of your words are powerful. You might not think you're the biggest artist right now, but like this is your catalog, you know? And now you know you're gonna be big. You're gonna be bigger than what you are now. And if you have remnants of that, someone is gonna see the way you guys are playing Tear Gas right now.
Yeah.
If your music is gonna live like how Tear Gas's music is living, someone's gonna hear that song who basically is bold enough to do suicide, but is considering to be bold enough to live.
Yeah.
But they're gonna take what you said. I'm just saying. I know it's rap music, but you got power in your words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to sound old and OG to you right now. I'm just saying that I love the song, but it just, and maybe it's, like I said, maybe I'm a little bit sensitive right now for many reasons, obviously, for all the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I heard it and I was like, don't say it if you're not gonna do it. Because, you know, you gotta choose which coward you wanna be.
Yeah.
You wanna be the coward that threatens this, but you don't do it? Or you wanna be bold and you wanna live life, not a half life. Because I can see you got vision. Life is challenging, but when you wake up and you literally say, I'm facing the challenge, that's bold on its own. So keep being bold and take these challenges and whatever whatever your community or your space gives you, remember that you're bold enough to face it and you're going to overcome it because you got a vision.
Yeah.
And that's how you sound to me when I listen to the project, you know?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say this suicide shit, I know. But sorry, you the one that came first and you had to get this from me. I'm sorry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, like, music is all about expressing yourself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If I'm in that mindset and this is how I'm feeling, I want to speak about it.
Yeah.
That's why there's lyrics where I say, like, sometimes I want to speak to the mic because I feel like it's the only person that doesn't judge me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doesn't look me down with judgmental eyes. I speak to it at night. You know what I mean? That's where I feel like I can express myself even more. I'm comfortable speaking to the mic. You know what I mean? Speaking to a human being like this, it might not be as me speaking to the mic. It's different. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you're gonna look at me. I don't know how you're gonna perceive me. But if I put it in the music and I put it out there, whoever listens to it will understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? If someone out there is facing suicidal thoughts and is hearing me saying, yo, I'm facing them too. But at the same time, I'm here and I'm alive and I'm still living it. I'm living through it. I'm trying to get through it. You know what I mean? I'm being bold to live life. You know what I mean? It might help that person too be like, okay, this is what he said, this is what I'm facing. But he's bold enough to live life. He's still living. So let me live life too. Let me give it a try. Yeah. Let me push through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you, and I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just saying, obviously, this is what you leave us with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you don't kind of go, but I'm overcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't kind of hit me with that, you know? And I agree, and like you're saying, you're an MC, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta manifest. What is MC? Okay, master of ceremony, move the crowd, right? That's what it is, right? As you're an MC, you are an MC.
Yes, sir.
Manifest you moving the crowd. Manifest yourself being powerful enough to move people to jump to a store, to jump off a build, manifest that power, and then take ownership and be responsible of that power. You dig?
Yeah.
And that's why I said right now you might think that I'm not big enough to literally like move or have that influence, but you know, you said you number one. So don't just say it in the raps, manifest it, live it, carry yourself like it. And when you put those words on the pad, literally like know that you're gonna move a crowd and you're gonna move many people. But even though you had those suicidal thoughts, you will overcome them because literally this is what you do like everyone else that has them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll have the follow through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because this is, we haven't had these conversations with rappers or whatever, because
Yeah.
everybody just wants to drop their songs. A rapper want to be music, they want to, but no one is manifesting themselves moving a crowd. Yeah, dig?
Yeah.
Guys want shows, but they don't manifest themselves moving a crowd.
Yeah.
Guys want dough, but they don't manifest themselves moving the crowd. You know what I mean? Having the influence. And that's part, you need to have influence without the mic. So you gotta manifest that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you start manifesting that, you start going, this lyric has so much power, so I actually need to also like do this and
Yeah.
do that with it. Because that's where you can go with it.
That's where you can go.
We good?
We're good.
Alright.
Alright.
My homie JayHood, we out here, you
We
know,
out here,
talking
yeah.
some real shit, you know. The project is out, Deep State. You know, it's got some bats behind him, you know. Are those bats?
Bats.
I know one of those things behind it, like bats and mosquitoes are flying. You know what I mean? You know, the artist got some bats, he's in his shades as he is. This is his easy E look. You know, you just need
like
a
this.
Jerry curl. You need the easy E.
Might try it one day.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's always got his shades on.
Yeah.
Yo, make sure you go stream the album. It was literally like in the top 100 streamed albums like this past weekend. Yo, keep playing that music, man. It's dope. It's a dope album.
Thank you very much.
It's a dope album.
Appreciate it.
I love, like, you know, I gotta listen to these albums and I'm always happy when I'm like, okay, cool, this is dope.
Yeah.
You know, JayHood, shout out to everybody, man, in PTA right now, just doing it, man. You know, y'all are doing it. Y'all are doing it. PTA, I see you got words on the project too.
Yeah.
Also an amazing kid that I met, you know, with the raps. Y'all doing
Yeah.
great, man.
Thank you.
We out here in the backyard. It's fucking cold.
Broadcast live